The call came in at 2:19 a.m., routed through the state police dispatcher with the kind of calm that only comes from repetition. A truck driver had reported debris on the shoulder of Interstate 84, just outside Hartford, Connecticut. It wasn't until the first patrol unit arrived that the word debris was replaced with dead body. Elena Morales was 32 years old, a registered nurse at St. Jude Medical Center. She was still wearing her blue scrubs, her hospital badge clipped at the waist, and her hair pulled back the way nurses wore it when they expected to be on their feet all night. She had finished a double shift and was walking along the shoulder after her ride was canceled at the last minute. The road was wet, visibility was poor, but the reflective strips on her clothing were intact. She never stood a chance. The driver who struck her slowed down just long enough to register what had happened. Investigators would later confirm that from the skid marks, short, controlled, and deliberate. Then the vehicle accelerated back onto the highway and disappeared into the dark. By morning, the local news called it a tragic hit and run. By noon, candles lined the guardrail, and by evening, state police had a suspect. Thomas Keene was 41. He lived in a quiet subdivision, worked as a logistics manager, and drove a gray Ford F-150. When detectives knocked on his door 2 days after the crash, he answered calmly, apologetic for the inconvenience. His truck showed damage to the right front end. He said he thought he hit a piece of construction debris. "I didn't see a person," Keene told Detective Laura Finch. "If I had, I would have stopped." He spoke clearly. His balance was steady. There was no smell of alcohol, no slurred words, and no glassy eyes. Finch wrote it plainly in her notes. The subject appears sober. That assessment shaped the investigation. Without a breath test or blood draw, the case leaned toward negligence rather than intoxication. Panic, not impairment. Keene was arrested for vehicular manslaughter and leaving the scene, but DUI was not initially charged. Public opinion split quickly. Some believed the state was overreaching. Others believed a nurse deserved justice no matter how clean the suspect looked. Finch, however, couldn't shake a feeling that something was missing. The break came from an unexpected place. A bartender from New Britain who recognized Keene's face on the evening news. She remembered him because he was polite, well-dressed, and always ordered bourbon, neat. On the night Elena Morales was killed, Keene had been at her bar until just before midnight. Credit card records confirmed it, 3 bourbons in less than an hour. Still, the defense dismissed it easily. No blood alcohol level, Keene's attorney, David Harlan, said. Drinking does not equal drunk driving. But Finch dug deeper. Phone records showed that less than an hour after the crash, Keene searched online. How long does alcohol stay in your blood? That search reframed everything. The courtroom in Hartford Superior Court was packed on the first day of trial. Elena Morales' family sat in the front row. Keene sat at the defense table in a navy suit, hands folded, eyes forward. The prosecution opened with Elena's life, her work in the ICU, her dedication, and the patients she stayed late for. Then they turned to the road. The defendant had time to stop, Assistant State's Attorney Claire Donnelly said. He chose not to. The defense countered hard. No DUI test. No witness to impairment. This was a tragic accident followed by panic, not a crime fueled by alcohol. For a moment, it worked. On the third day, Keene's wife, Rachel, took the stand. She spoke quietly about hidden bottles in the garage freezer, about mouthwash used late at night, and about arguments that ended with her husband insisting he was fine. He never looked drunk, she said. That's what scared me. Next came Keene's employer, who testified about missed meetings, unexplained absences, and a written recommendation for treatment after Keene showed up intoxicated to a late-night conference call months earlier. The defense objected. The judge overruled. The jury leaned in. A forensic toxicologist explained alcohol tolerance and retrograde extrapolation, how alcohol levels can be estimated based on timing, consumption, and body weight. High-functioning alcoholics often appear sober, she testified. That does not mean they are safe to drive. The defense repeated its refrain, no BAC. Then the prosecution introduced the phone search. The courtroom went silent. People who believe they're sober don't worry about alcohol in their blood, Donnelly said. Against his attorney's advice, Thomas Keene testified. He spoke about stress, about responsibility, and about pressure to provide. He admitted he drank but denied he was impaired. I didn't mean to leave her, he said. I panicked. On cross-examination, Donnelly asked simple questions. Why did you shower when you got home? I was wet. Why did you throw away your shoes? They were ruined. And why did you search how long alcohol stays in your blood? Keene stared at the table. He didn't answer. The jury deliberated for 9 hours. When they returned, the foreperson stood, guilty on all counts. At sentencing, Elena Morales' sister addressed the court. She ran toward emergencies for a living, she said. He ran away. The judge sentenced Thomas Keene to 18 years in state prison. Outside, traffic continued along Interstate 84, headlights flashing over the shoulder where Elena Morales lost her life. The case closed, but the lesson remained. Addiction doesn't always look like chaos. Sometimes it looks like control, until the moment it destroys everything.